Hello and welcome to Moneylife News and Views. I am Debashis Basu. The BJP government, as you know, has lots of time for slogans, memes, catchphrases, alliterative coinages, abbreviations, which are very, very clever sounding, and so on. One of the catchphrases that's currently being repeated ad nauseum by ministers is ease of living. Like the other slogans, this one also sounds highly ironic and even a mockery of our real lives. How can we have ease of living under a state which is creating an endless cycle of stress for its citizens, for which the faceless administration is never held accountable? And here is a short sample. Remember, while these examples are chosen at random, it reflects a bias that of urban middle-class people. In all fairness, ease of living should work first for the poor, and in fact, it's much worse for them. The first in my list, obviously, is demonetization. This Tughlaq-like move was the mother of all blows to ease of living and set the tone of what to expect in future. Demonetization, as anticipated, did not eliminate corruption, yield black money, reduce cash levels, or reduce fake currencies. But it certainly inflicted unnecessary and very large-scale suffering, mainly on the poor. Number 2, forced Aadhaar. Mr. Narendra Modi was dead against Aadhaar during the Congress government when he was in the opposition. Once he assumed power, he started pushing this project with an evangelical zeal. His style is take no prisoners, offer no reasons, so he never deigned to explain his 180-degree U-turn and why he suddenly has become such a great fan of Aadhaar. Aadhaar was pushed down our throats when it was clear that the whole project was full of flaws and is continuing to cause stress everywhere. The Aadhaar number is not a proof of residence, not of citizenship, not of identity, not even of existence, because no one has verified the authenticity of the Aadhaar database. But from birth to death, this number has been made mandatory everywhere, putting people, especially the poor, to enormous risk and hardship. A mid-2018 report says that more than 20 lakh people in just 3 states were not getting their rations because of Aadhaar, and that's not ease of living, that's a punitive state in action. Number 3, bulldozing electric vehicles. Here is a quote: "We should move towards alternative fuel. I'm going to do this whether you like it or not, and I'm not going to ask you, I will bulldoze it." These words were from Nitin Gadkari, the Minister of Roads, Transport and Highways, speaking to automakers on 8 September 2017. Separately, Niti Aayog has warned that if 2 or 3 wheelers do not meet the short deadline to produce electric vehicles, they will be asked to pay up for causing pollution. The auto industry has deep backward and forward linkages. Can you bulldoze that industry the way Mr. Gadkari talked about? To bulldoze such a complex industry and to order a new one to come up in its place overnight is neither ease of business nor ease of living. It's another example of a punitive state in action. GST Raj, that's number 4. GST imposes criminal penalties for a range of violations, from simple mistakes to frauds, no matter the size of the enterprise. GST commissioners can arrest people without registering an FIR, and businessmen do not have the option of even an anticipatory bail. The law empowers the GST commissioners to arrest a person merely if he has reasons to believe, that's all is needed, that he has committed an offense under Section 132 of the GST Act. GST laws and practices make for a particularly fertile ground of punitive actions, not ease of living. Point number 5, vehicle fines. We all know that we now have a new Motor Vehicles Act, which has imposed draconian fines for every kind of violation. These are so excessive that one of the first states to announce that they would not follow it was the BJP's own home state of Gujarat, followed by several others. And now the central government is saying that the state cannot take such decisions. Those draconian fines are going to stand. Point number 6, jail term for CSR lapses. In August last year, the government made certain corporate social responsibility spending mandatory for a large cross-section of firms. The problem with that was the lapses were supposed to be penalized not just with fines but a jail term for the designated executive up to 3 years. This caused so much of uproar that the state rolled it back, which Mr. Modi claimed as a very generous giveaway for the business. Why not some punitive actions against the ministers and babus who thought of this mindless monstrosity that only created stress of living? Point number 7. Jail for late filing of income tax return. Section 276cc, which this government introduced, deals with a failure to file returns on time. If the tax amount is more than rupees 1 lakh, it attracts rigorous imprisonment for 6 months to 7 years plus a fine. What happens if the taxpayer pays up the tax amount on his own, and along with the penalty and fines and everything? The law does not envisage such a scenario where there is no tax amount due anymore, only the filing was late. The department wants to jail the taxpayer who is not a tax evader, even in such cases. Tax laws and circulars are getting frighteningly malevolent and getting more so every day, on top of the stiff targets set for the department by the finance ministry. I am told that the income tax department has targets for issuing prosecution notices and other penal provisions, which are monitored weekly by New Delhi. But there will be no ease of living for taxpayers because the government does not recognize that both the tax laws and the department's attitude as a whole is punitive. After all, the Prime Minister does not see this as a systemic issue. He believes that only some black sheep in the tax administration may have misused their powers and harassed the taxpayers. It's common sense that a combination of terrifying laws and corrupt machinery will cause widespread extortion and distress. Why can't Netas and Babus see this? Maybe they know it, and so they have coined ease of living to preempt anyone from seeing the simple fact that citizens alone are being made culprits for all our ills and liable to be fined and jailed for failing to navigate their way through a fearsome, mindless rules. The slogan of ease of living is a tactic. To paraphrase Mr. Modi, it is the ABCD of governance today. Avoid, bully, confuse, and deflect any discussion about a terrifying and a punitive state. Thanks for watching.